I'm Victoria and this is What Victoria Read. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is the 3rd of April and I finished my first read for the month, which was a carryover from March. I had to really think what the month was called before this one then. Yes, so one of the things that I was trying to do, I've got mad hair again today, one of the things I was trying to do in March was mood read, and I gave myself like a reduced TBR to choose from, all of that good stuff, and then I didn't mood read at all. I just read the books in order, which is what I always do. I got to the end of the month and I'd read nearly everything. You can actually see The Midwife behind me, which is the only book. Why can't I point behind me? There. There, well, whatever, you can see it there. Which was the only book on that TBR that I hadn't picked up yet, and I just didn't feel like it, so I didn't. And instead I had a look at my shelves and I decided, with like 3 or 4 days left in the month, to pick up this 600-page behemoth of a book and read that instead. So this is The Six Tudor Queens, Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen by Alison Weir. This was very kindly gifted to me for my birthday by Kirsty at Kirsty's Reviews, so thank you so much for sending this my way, Kirsty. I've had the best time reading this book. This is a fictionalised account of Catherine of Aragon's life, and she was the first queen of Henry VIII, his first wife, and I just have been absolutely absorbed by this book. I usually have 2 or 3 books on a go at a time. I usually have an audiobook and then either 2 or 3 physical books, and apart from the audiobook that I've got going in the car, I've only been reading this book for the last few days and just really thoroughly enjoyed it. I've read Alison Weir before, but it's been years, and she's got so many books published. Like, her published list is just absolutely ridiculous. But I've read her non-fiction. I read The Six Wives of Henry VIII, I've read The Princess in the Tower, I've read Henry VIII, King and Court, I've read some of her fiction, I read Innocent Traitor, I've read The Captive Queen, A Dangerous Inheritance. I've read quite a few from her, but it's probably been 10 years since I've read any of her work. And there was just something about this that felt really familiar. It was really good, just really good for my brain. And yeah, I had a really good time. There isn't really much to say. I gave it 4 stars. Some of it is a little bit slow and a little bit repetitive, but she's obviously done so much research and is so knowledgeable about this point in history, and wanted to get those details in. And yeah, even though Catherine's story is really sad, she had such a sad life and she had such like short bits of happiness along the way. Somehow I came away from it feeling hopeful. So yeah, I finished that and gave it 4 stars, and then I immediately bought this one, which is the second book. This is Anne Boleyn, A King's Obsession, and I'm just also obsessed with these covers, incidentally, like seriously. Yes, so I ordered this late last night on Amazon, which is very bad of me because, one, I don't tend to buy myself books. And if I do, I don't buy them through Amazon usually. I will try and order them from, either go into a bookshop or order from an indie bookshop or whatever. I do use Amazon, let's not pretend I don't, but it's mostly so that I can send books to other people, like via the wishlist system. So I very rarely actually buy a book for myself from Amazon, but this was really cheap and I wanted it immediately in my hands, and now it is. And I'm not gonna lie, probably going to start this tonight, because one of the things, obviously you're reading purely from Catherine's perspective in this, and you hate Anne Boleyn by about 2/3 of the way through. You absolutely hate her, so I'm really intrigued to see exactly how Alison Weir is going to make her sympathetic in this, because again, she'll be the narrator and I'm assuming that we're going to be on her side. And again, this is 530 pages. These are big books. But oh, look, even the spines have got the numbers on. This is all very pleasing. So yes, I suspect that I'm now going to put aside the books I've been reading over there and pick up a 500-page historical fiction book that wasn't even on my TBR to start with. Good work! It's the 4th of April. It's about 7:30, 8:15 at night, and I would never usually film in the week in the evening because the light's terrible. It's pretty much dark outside, so we've got the horrible overhead light on. I really must buy a ring light. But I'm coming on because we were having dinner, Gary and I having dinner, and the Amazon lady knocked on the door, which was fine because I was expecting some note card that I'd ordered, and then she just kept bringing parcels, and these are all from my wish list. So I don't know who's done this or which of you have done this or what's going on, but I'm already overwhelmed and I haven't even opened it yet. So I thought I'd come and film, even though you can see the annoying green line on my glasses and the lighting is rubbish, because I want to open these on camera, and I am definitely not waiting until the weekend to open these, which is when I would usually film. So we're going to open them together. We've got 2 this size, then we've got, just flipping over so you can't see my address, we've got this little guy who I'm very intrigued by, and then the big box. And I'm stumped as to who has sent me stuff, why I would be sent stuff. Like, it's not my birthday, haven't hit a milestone. So yeah, let's just find out. Okay, Gary was like, why are there all these parcels? I literally do not know. So let's find out what's been going on. Okay, first one is a book. That's very exciting. Let's find a gift note first. That's a receipt. Oh, a gift from Joe. Oh, one of my favourite authors. Hope you enjoy it. Keep the videos coming. Enjoy your Easter break from school, from Joe. Thank you so much. Let's see what this is. I don't know why. Okay, it's a very sweet thing. Let's just enjoy it. Oh, I should have known it would be this one. This is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. And as you know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, my favourite read of February was Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. So I'm very excited to read another one. I also read The Little Stranger and DNF'd it. But a few people, I think Joe was one of them, reliably told me that this is on a similar level to Tipping the Velvet. So this is very exciting. So it's an extraordinary, ingenious tale of fraud, insanity, and secrets. Like, I don't even want to read more of the back because that is enough to really intrigue me. So thank you, Joe. That was really kind of you and lovely, and for no particular reason, which is always really wonderful. And then this one. Sorry if I'm a bit weird. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting this at all, and it's really thrown my brain out for a loop. And it's also been a very long day. We're definitely at that point in the term where the kids are feral and I'm exhausted, so that makes for an interesting combination. Oh, and this is from Chris at Cozy Reading Corner. Just a little something to make you smile. Aww. Imagine having 2 nice people in one day. Oh, this is very exciting. Some very good choices are being made. So this is Frostheart. This is the second in the Frostheart series, Escape from Aurora by Jamie Littler. And look at this cover. This cover is insane. I love this green. This is probably my favourite colour, this like emeraldy green. Wow, thank you, Chris. Just Chris and Joe. It's just so kind of both of you. For no reason, I'm just putting the gift notes in. Otherwise, I will lose them, and then I will be sad because when I come to read them, I won't know who sent me what. Okay, let's go for this little guy here, and then we've got the big box, which I'm just completely intrigued by now. I'm feeling it. Can't get the thing open. Okay, let's just do it a different way. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, I didn't know what this is. Salmon sandwich. Cat treats? Oh, somebody sent treats for the cat. I don't know who that was though. I'm assuming it's Joe or Chris. One of you. By the time this goes up, I would have found out who. But somebody sent treats for the cats. I thought they were candykins. But this is actually more exciting. So I'll do a little clip of introducing these to the cats, and whoever it was, thank you very, very much for that. And then there's this, which, can't lie, sounds like sweets, but weighs an absolute ton. So let's try and get into this. I can't show you me opening it because I've got my address on the top of the box, so you just get the sound effects instead. Yes, I've seen. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for these. Who are these from? From Chris at Cozy Reading Corner. Oh my goodness, Chris. It's just a little something to make you smile. Well, it definitely has. Because, oh, there's more stuff in here. These are the rhubarb and custard Haribo sweets, which I am just, they will not last long. And then, oh my gosh, I forgot I put this on. I literally put this on a couple of days ago. It's a book sleeve. Oh my goodness. I picked it because I'm just in love with the print, and also it's quite big because some of the books that I read are quite big. Oh, it's got a little like pouch on the front and it's zippered. Look how cute it is. It says Book Nerd and it's got cats and all the good things, books and tea and glasses and stuff on it. Well, this was a very unexpected Monday treat, so thank you both, Joe and Chris. I am feeling entirely overwhelmed now. It's the 9th of April and we've made it to the Easter holidays. Woohoo! Thank goodness. I actually had a really good last week of term, but as you can hear in my voice, I've got some sort of lurgy. It's not COVID because I'm testing for that, but I feel pants this morning. But I'm in my filming setup. Gary's gone to see a friend for the day, and this feels very old school, this like filming in an empty house. I haven't done it for literal years. I used to do it when I was in my old job. I used to work like one Saturday in 4 or whatever, so I'd have a loo day in the week to make up for it, and I always used to film all my content on my loo days when the house was empty. So this feels kind of weird and old school, but nice, because I'm not worrying about like either like Gary making noise upstairs or that I'm taking too long. So yeah, it's kind of nice. Gonna have a chilled filming morning. I do have a book that's arrived, and then I thought I'd just do a little reading update because my reading's been super slow this week because it's the end of term. But I am like in the middle of a few things, so I thought I'd tell you about that. And I have loads of plans for the Easter holidays, and I still haven't talked about it because I'm feeling a little bit like I might jinx it. And I'm kind of not ready to say it out loud yet. But what I will say is that tomorrow Gary and I are going on a flying trip to London because for Christmas he bought me tickets to the opera of The Handmaid's Tale, which I didn't even know was a thing. Neither of us have ever been to the opera, so we don't know if we're going to like it or not, but I'm really intrigued to kind of see how it's going to be staged, and also see, like I said, if we like the opera. Plus we haven't been to London for like 3 years, and I'm not a huge city person. Moles is just about to jump down from the window, so she looks like she's seen someone. I hate when they do this, there's no one there. Yeah, I'm not a massive city person, but I do love a little bit of London, and I feel like tomorrow will be good. So I'll try and film some clips for that. And then on Monday, I'm picking Charlie up from his mum in the morning because we're going for the first week of the holidays. Oh, now she's taking a nap, so clearly whatever it is gone. We've got him for the first week of the holidays. It's a 2-week holiday. And I'm going to take him down to my mum's because mum's dog, Kez, had puppies about 10 days ago. And we're just gonna go down and have some puppy cuddles and stuff. I'm not sure if I will film them because mum's worried about puppy thieves, dog thieves, but I'll see how she feels when we get down there. But that is what we'll be doing, and then we're coming back Tuesday, and then I've got to go into work for a couple of days to catch up on marking and planning and everything for next term, and then I'm doing other stuff which I will tell you about as it gets closer. So yeah, that's kind of the first week. Today, as I said, I'm filming and I'm going to make a macaroni cheese and we sort my house out. My house just needs like a decent tidy. There's also so much laundry to do, it's not even funny. Like to the point where I'm starting to run out of clothes, so I need to sort that out. And yeah, just relax, and Gary will be home later and we're just going to chill. So reading update, book update. Book Break very kindly sent me Into the Dark by Fiona Cummins, which is a thriller, and it says wife, husband, friend, detective, someone knows the truth, all of them are lying, and I'm really intrigued. And then on the back it says, one morning Julianne arrives for her weekly run with best friend Pippa Holden to discover in eerie silence the kettle's still warm, phones are charging on the worktop, the cars are in the garage, but the family is gone. In 15-year-old River's bedroom, scrawled across the mirror in blood, are 3 words: make them stop. What happens next? And I'm just really intrigued by this. This comes out in April, so it comes out this month. I don't know whether I'm gonna manage to read this before release date, when is it, 14th of April, probably not, but I will chuck it into my TBR pile for the month and we'll see if I manage to pick it up. But big thank you to Book Break. I will obviously read it at some point, and it looks very, very intriguing, so thank you for sending that my way. And then my currently reading pile is very orange and white, so I am 80% into The Midwife by Trisha Cresswell, and I was worried that this was going to be kind of dense and slow, and actually I've been flying through it. It's taken me a while to read just because of the way my week's been, but every time I pick it up and read it, I read 50 pages without even trying, so I'm really enjoying that one. I think it's going to be a 4-ish stars depending on how the ending goes, although there's been a twist and I knew that was going to be the case before I even picked the book up just from reading the back, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm really enjoying how it's written. I'm also a very tiny way into a manual for cleaning women by Lucia Berlin. I think there's a pronunciation guide in the front for how to say her name. Maybe not. But I'm struggling a little bit with this. This is short stories, very short stories, like flash fiction. And I always say that I like my short stories to be short, and I do. I think it's just, this is very literary fiction, and I'm slightly struggling with it. I've only read 2 or 3 stories, so I'm gonna read a few more before I kind of decide. But yeah, I'm not finding myself drawn to pick this up yet, but I'm hoping that will kick in at some point. And then I'm reading the audiobook of The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie R. King, which is the first in the Mary Russell series. This was really kindly gifted to me by Mel from a book fiend named Mel for my birthday. And I'm reading this on audio. I've got about half an hour left, so I will probably finish it today whilst I'm pottering around the house. And this is kind of a Sherlock Holmes reimagining. So we've got a retired Sherlock Holmes who, and we are following Mary Russell, who's 15 when she literally walks into him on the moors, or on the downs, I think. And it's about her becoming his apprentice. And yeah, I am enjoying this. There's bits of it I've really enjoyed, but I'm also really struggling with the pace. It's really slow, and there's quite a lot of telling instead of showing, which isn't my favourite writing style. But we're into like the last bit where everything is kind of coming together, so we will see. I think it's going to be somewhere between a 3 and a 4, and again, it very much depends on the ending, because endings are really important to me. So that is my little reading update and little life update, and this is probably where I'm going to put in some spangly B-roll with some nice music of the next few days. It's 13th of April and Gary and I have COVID. Brilliant. Managed to avoid it for 2 years. Managed to make it through terms and working at school with everyone around me getting COVID.
And the minute we're on Easter holiday and I have massive plans that I'm really excited for, we get COVID. So yeah, I generally try and keep things like positive and upbeat on this channel, but I'm really feeling rubbish in all senses of the word today. I haven't said it yet on this channel, though I'd mentioned it on Instagram and Twitter, but I was supposed to be going to Edinburgh on Saturday. I'm gonna cry again. To see Leanne and Harry and Jean, and they've like planned loads of stuff, and we've been talking about it for months. We booked it just after Christmas, and now I can't go because I have COVID. Like, it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously I know it's a thing. I've watched people around me have COVID, but it was kind of this thing I said to Gary last night. I was like, I cannot believe we have COVID, but we do. And then just to add to that, so I'm quite breathless. To add to that, we've also got Charlie this week for his Easter holiday, which means that all of the fun stuff that we've had planned for him has gone out the window. Thankfully, at the moment, he's testing negative, but the weird downside of that, not that we want him to test positive, but one of the downsides of that is that we have to keep him away from us. So we are like staying in different rooms from him, wearing masks if we have to be in the same space, and like being as quick as we can if we are in the same room. So he's gone from having this really fun Easter break planned where like he was going to cinema with Nanny and Granddad and bowling with his uncle and out with his dad and all that stuff. That's now just not happening, and instead he's gonna have to like basically entertain himself, which is just a level of parental guilt that is horrible. So yeah, it's all a bit grim, to be honest. In terms of how I'm feeling, I mean, I felt rubbish for, I thought my husband's coming home, for a few days, but I always feel rubbish at the end of the term. And I had a cold, a bit of a cough, but my tests were negative. So I went down to see my mum, as you saw from like the footage, and Gary and I also went to the opera on Sunday, which was lovely. Tests were negative, so just carried on as normal, and then Gary's cough got worse, so he took another test yesterday and it came up positive. So I took a test, and within like 10 seconds there was the massive red line. And it's like, oh, great. As I said, Charlie's tested negative, which is obviously a good thing. Don't want him poorly, don't want him feeling like this. But yeah, I feel like all of my limbs are made of lead. I'm really breathless. I've got a really horrible cough. I've also been really congested, like blocked nose and stuff, but that's starting to ease. But it's just mostly just ugh, and quite low mood because of everything that we've had to cancel. So there we go. I will still go up to Edinburgh. It will happen hopefully later in the year. And we're just doing the best we can with everything else. I do have some books to talk about. Didn't just come on here to whinge. As I said, we went, and as you saw, we went and saw the English National Opera on Sunday at the Coliseum, which was incredible. Gary and I have never been to an opera before, and it was quite an experience. I thought the way that it was staged was incredible, and the skill of the people on stage and backstage and in the orchestra were incredible. I'm not sure the actual like operatic element of it added anything to the story, particularly as they had lifted sections of the text. Like I was quoting it in my head as we were going along, which was kind of nice because we all know how much of a nerd I am when it comes to this story. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how much the opera side of it actually added to it, and I'm not sure if we would go to another opera. I feel like we need to try at least like one more to decide, but it was stunningly staged, and you know, I always enjoy seeing the story, so there was that. And this is obviously my what do they call this, the thing, the like information booklet program, there we go, program, which I'm going to read at some point over the next couple of days, because it's got loads of like, it's got like interview with Margaret Atwood and all that stuff. Then I decided to DNF a book, and I'm really hoping my brother isn't shouting at the screen right now. This is a Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin. I read the first 5 or 6 stories and I just couldn't get into it. I really like short stories, like flash fiction, but I think this is because this is all autobiographical, and I'm going to put it bluntly because I'm feeling rubbish, but like I just couldn't find a way to care, and I wasn't wanting to pick it up, so I'm going to DNF that one. So apologies, Ben. I just I couldn't find my way in. I then finished the audiobook for The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie R. King. So I've also got hiccups. This is something that's also been happening the last couple of days. I don't know if it's COVID or what, but I don't enjoy it. So this is very, very kindly gifted to me for my birthday by the wonderful Mel from a book fiend named Mel. And this is Sherlock Holmes. It's not a retelling, it's like a continuation. So we've got a retired Holmes who's in his mid-50s, and we are following Mary Russell, who is 15 when she literally walks into Holmes one day on the moors. I think it's on the moors or the downs. And it's just about her becoming his apprentice basically, and his partner, in terms of investigations and stuff. And then it's sort of like short stories, because there's a couple of like cases that they go on together at the beginning, and then a longer case that unravels. And I thought this was really fun. It's got kind of an old-fashioned feel to it. It feels like an Arthur Conan Doyle story, which is a compliment given that it is a Holmes continuation. I really like Mary Russell. She's really clever, she's feminist, she's interesting. I like the way her brain works, and I like the way they work together. I think the only problem really I had with this was the pacing. It's really slow, and quite a few times I was like, come on, I do not need another description of like a room or a meal or something. Just get to the story. But that's just me and my reading taste. I did still give it 4 stars, and I would continue the series because I really liked the way it was going. I just don't love this cover. I'm not sure if I'll keep this copy. I might take I will take the gift note out, because I always keep my gift notes, and find an edition I like more. But that's just me being weird and vain with my books. But yes, enjoyed that one. Thank you for the recommendation, Mel. I will definitely want to keep on with the series. I might see if I can find more of them on Scribe, because I listened to the audiobook and that worked really well. And finally, I read an ARC, which I should have read months ago. This is meant to be my book break, and it came out on the 17th of February. This is The Midwife by Tricia Cresswell, and I'm going to say as little about this as I can because I don't want to give spoilers. So 1838, a woman is found naked on the moors with no memory of who she is or where she's come from. But she knows, and gradually as she begins to recover, she realises that she has midwifery skills, and she knows how to nurse and take care of people. And then in 1841, we follow a male doctor who lives who lives in London, and he's a male midwife, and we're trying to work out how the two are connected basically. And I really thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a debut. I would definitely read more from the author. I gave it 4 stars. I did know from the outset what was happening. I felt like it was really, really obvious, which is why I'm trying not to say anything else about the plot. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the journey to get there. I don't know why I thought it, but I just had this like misconception that it was going to be dense or like hard to read, and it isn't. Every time I picked it up, I would fly through 50 pages without even trying. So yeah, I would really recommend this one. It's historical fiction, it's feminist fiction. It was just really interesting. So yeah, I would definitely, it's one of those books I finished it a couple of days ago and I'm still thinking about the characters. So yeah, I would definitely look for more from that author. Highly recommended. And then the last bit of bookish news before I lie down, because I'm tired now. My brother lent me 2 books when we went to see Down to My Family over the last couple of days. One is properly random and the kind of thing that only my brother would find, but looks really interesting. And the other one is from a series I've been reading. So the really random one is The King's Minion by Raphael Sabatini. And Ben didn't really say much about this, except that it's about King James I of England and James VI of Scotland. And that Ben had really enjoyed it. And so yeah, it's not as big as it looks. It looks like it's going to be like a 600-page chunk of it. It's like 400 pages. So at some point I will give that a go. That's going to go onto my shelf. And then he also lent me Murder in Mesopotamia by Agatha Christie, which is a Poirot story, because he knew that I'd been enjoying and had enjoyed, and then there were none. So he's lent me this one. It's a very nice copy of his. What the edition is, but it's lovely. Because my brother, if you're not aware, is an archaeologist, and this is all about an archaeological dig, I think. But I also don't want to read the back too much or like read too much into it. I don't usually prefer Poirot. I usually prefer Miss Marple to Poirot, but we will give this a try at some point and see what I think. So yeah, it's a very nice copy. And now I'm gonna go and lie down and probably continue feeling sorry for myself. It's the same day. I still have COVID. I still look and feel like this. I'm not gonna do like daily vlogs. I feel like COVID vlogs have kind of been done by now. But I do have this. and it's got What Victoria Read on it, which means that it's a present. So I thought I would open it here. I don't know what it is, obviously, because I can't see through cardboard. I don't know who it's from. But thank you very much. I'm very pathetic today. And just seeing it brighten my day. So let's see what's inside. Can I open it in one? Oh, well, that's the first thing that's gone my way in the last 24 hours. Not to be dramatic about it. Okay, what do we have? Oh, there's 2 things in here. Okay. Hang on, I'm going to hold this down here because my dress. Let's do... Oh, there's a book and something else. Let's do the book for... Oh, yes. 6 Tudor Queens, Jane Seymour, the Haunted Queen. As you already have known because you've watched the beginning of this vlog, I'm trash for these now. I finished the first one at the start of the month. I'm actually currently, well, I say I'm currently reading the Anne Boleyn one. It's been laying next to my head all day. I don't think that counts as reading though because I've actually not picked it up and looked at it, but this is the next one. I'm very, very happy to have the next one straight away. I feel like my whole TBR might go out the window this month and I'm just going to read these. So that's very exciting. And then what else is in here? Let's see if we can find a gift note. Oh, someone's got good taste. They sent me the giant Montezuma's white chocolate buns. These are one of my favourite things here on planet Earth. I think they're amazing. So thank you to whoever this was. Who was it? Oh, it was Charlotte from Desperately Seeking Charlotte. I almost said Thoroughly Enjoyed Charlotte, which is mixing 2 of my friends' channels together. That's weird. Anyway, she said, a situation like this calls for chocolate and Tudors. Hope this makes your day a little better. And then I think that's the kissy emoji or the wishing one, like the winking one. But anyway, from Charlotte. So, oh, she's so lush. Thank you so much. That really has... You can hear my husband's terrible taste in music now. That really genuinely has put a smile on my very tired face. It's the 15th of April, still feel rubbish, still got my hair like shoved off of my face, still in just, you know, t-shirts, slobbing around the house in. Yeah, I'm not going to go bang on and on about COVID. I feel rubbish. There we go. It's not fun. I've spent the last 3 days kind of drifting in and out of sleep. Couldn't really read much. I do have one book to update you on. Haven't really been able to read much. Today I felt a little bit better. In terms of like focusing on reading. So mostly I've just been kind of lay with my laptop on with Netflix and YouTube playing as I kind of drift in and out of sleep, which in different times might sound blissful, but yes, it's rubbish. I have, however, today rebooked my Edinburgh trip, which cost me a bit of money, but I feel much better now that it's rebooked, so that's good. And the countdown has restarted and it's not that far away. So that's good. And then I got 2 books. One book I finished, one book I treated myself to, and these arrived yesterday. So I'm going to open those. They came yesterday, but I just didn't have the energy to sit upright. And also yesterday I was really, really lightheaded. Today is not as bad. But yeah, I couldn't sit up to film yesterday, and obviously I want to open them on camera because someone or some people have been kind enough to send me presents. So yeah, first of all, the book that I finished was Anne Boleyn, A King's Obsession by Alison Weir. This is obviously the second book in the 6 Tudor Queens series. I loved this. I loved this even more than the first one, and you know, having watched the start of this vlog, how much I enjoyed that one. As I said in the wrap up for the Catherine of Aragon one, when I was reading that book, I hated Anne Boleyn with an absolute passion, and I was intrigued to see how Alison Weir was going to make her sympathetic, but she really does, and it's done in such an interesting, intelligent way that I've not seen done before with Anne Boleyn. And she is one of the queens who are harder to know because we don't have as much of her letters or diary entries or anything like that, so her kind of reasoning for the way that she behaved and things that she did are kind of subject to speculation. But I felt like it was done so well in this, and even though I knew how the story was going to end, I was still kind of hoping for a different outcome for it, which obviously there isn't because there wasn't. But yeah, I absolutely adored this. It swept me along. It's taken me a while to read, but COVID. But I feel like in normal life, I could have devoured this like 500 plus page beast in like 2 days. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoy the series. I gave this one 5 stars, and I'm very, very excited and lucky that I've got the 3rd one to go straight onto, because as you can see, already got a bookmark in there because I am fully obsessed. So yeah, absolutely highly recommend that one. That was a 5-star read. And then I treated myself to a book, but it's probably not the kind of book you'd expect. I was scrolling Amazon, because what else do you do when you're stuck in bed with nothing to do, feeling rubbish? Also, my left eyelid keeps twitching. It's a very weird COVID symptom that I don't really enjoy. So sorry if you can see that. It's bugging me more than it's bugging you, trust me. Yeah, I was scrolling Amazon and I saw this book, and it was reduced from £25 to £8, and I was like, I need it. And that is Nadia's Fast Flavours. Excuse my neighbours, welcome to my life. This is Nadia Hussein, who won Bake Off a few years ago, and if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, you'll know I'm obsessed with her macaroni cheese recipe, which is in here. And I just saw it and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have that. I've already tabbed absolutely loads of recipes that I want to cook. I'm quite a good cook, but I'm a rubbish baker. And this is a mixture of like cooking and baking. And I mean, just look, how good does that look? That's roast cheese. Oh. So I'm kind of hoping that this will push my, there's the macaroni cheese recipe that we are obsessed with. I'm hoping this will give me some new recipes, because we are really guilty of just cooking the same few things. Like, oh god, look how good is this? And then you've got some pudding. So this is ginger, pear and oat pudding. Like, get in my belly. So yeah, I've had a very nice time like going through this and tabbing it, and then I need to actually cook some stuff from it. But yes, £8, absolute bargain. Beautiful hardback, full colour pictures. Yes, thank you very much. So that's the book I treated myself to. And then I've had 3 parcels from my wish list, which is just definitely gonna make me weep because I'm feeling so pathetic. Like I always say when I open stuff from you guys, nobody has sent me anything. There is never any expectation that anyone will send me something. But every time someone does, it genuinely makes my day. So let's just not waffle more and let's just open these together and see what's in here, because they've been looking at me since yesterday, but I felt so dreadful yesterday I just could not put myself on camera. Okay, oh, there's 2 things in here. Oh yes, who's this for? Okay, so excellent choices being made already. So we've got To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, which I've read as a kid. I studied it for GCSE, but haven't read it for years. And I taught Of Mice and Men to year 9 this year, and it just made me want to reread this. And this is a beautiful edition. This is like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like embossed. It's not like embossed, it is embossed. So that's very exciting. That's a classic. Oh, it's from Jo. Oh, is there another gift note? Because she also, hope these help you feel better soon, from Jo, because she's also sent me some Tonys. Yes, this will definitely, I'm sure this is going to be, surely this is a cure for COVID, right? I mean, we can test it out. Wow, Jo, thank you so much. Oh, gosh, such a good shout. And the chocolate, like, wow, okay. Already feeling overwhelmed by the kindness of people on the internet. Right, let's open this one. I'm trying to do this quickly, but I can't really do anything quickly just now. Ugh. Okay. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, I want to get, okay, so the book is this one. It's Rachel Kane's Stillhouse Lake, which I put onto my wish list / TBR, because I basically treat my wish list as my TBR, because Leanne from Literary Diversions was obsessed with it and said that I have to read it. So is this from her, or is this from someone else with similarly good taste? Oh no, it's from Laura. From Laura and her bookish thoughts. Enjoy your gift. I know this isn't a trip to Scotland, but hopefully it'll fill a gap on your bookshelf. Take care and hope you feel better soon, from Laura. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. This looks like super creepy. I didn't explain what this one's about because I'm assuming most people know. It's about a black man accused of, is it raping? Yeah, raping a white girl, and we are seeing it from the perspective of the daughter of the defense attorney, Scout. So yes, 1930s racism, etc. That's that one. And then this one, I don't know loads about it other than it's the killing didn't stop when they caught her husband. So I think her husband gets accused of murder, she moves away, he goes to prison, and then the murders continue or something. So yeah, it looks super creepy. This is one of these really heavy Amazon bind-ups as well. Like, I don't know what they do to the spine, but it's really heavy. Okay, wow, thank you, Laura. Okay, and then this last one. Okay. Oof, off in one. Nice. Okay. Oh. There's multiple things in here. Let's just... Oh! Who is this from? Oh, this is a gift from... Oh, from Sheila. Sheila, thank you. She sent me... So we're feeding the obsession. I love it. Anna of Cleve, Queen of Secrets. This is at book 4. So I've just finished book 2, which I've just wrapped up. Then I've got 3 from Charlotte. And now I've got 4. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. And I love this cover. This might be my favourite cover so far. Okay, that's very exciting. And then she's also sent me some chocolate, some Lindor. Yeah, Lind. What are words? And some sour watermelon candy kittens. I mean, really. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm now feeling really, really overwhelmed, and I'm wondering if I can get away with hiding these sweets up here and not sharing them with the boys. It's 16th of April and I should be in Edinburgh right now, and like, I know it's been rebooked and it's nowhere near the worst thing that's happened in the world, but meh. So yes, on the upside, I'm feeling a lot more like myself today. I was saying to Gary earlier, I feel like I'm like back in my body now. The last few days have been really weird. I've watched back the previous couple of clips and it feels like it's someone else that's talking. It's really bizarre. I've still, as you can hear, still got the cough, but I haven't felt anywhere near as faint today, and I've managed to read a couple of 100 pages, which is more like my usual pace. So yeah, I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll feel better again. Everyone that has had it has been like, rest, make sure you rest, don't overdo it. So I am going to be like taking it easy. I've still got another week of holiday before we go back to school, and although I need to do some schoolwork, and if I have a negative test over the next couple of days, I'll be going in Tuesday, Wednesday. Although I need to do that stuff, I'll be doing it at my own leisurely pace and like not getting stressed about it. So yes, I'm starting to see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I have finished a book, which is Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. This was sent to me by Book Break in exchange for an honest review. It comes out in May, 26th of May. This comes out. It's been out in the States for a while. It's the one with the really ugly cover, the American cover, but I really like this one. This was an odd little book. So we're following an unnamed narrator whose husband has been accused of, her husband, they're both university lecturers or college lecturers in the States, and he's been accused of taking advantage of some of his students previously, and she has known about what she calls his affairs, and she's got some quite strong opinions on the women who are now saying that they were sexually assaulted and coerced, and she's also got her own kind of sexual issues going on, and she becomes obsessed with Vladimir, who is this new professor who arrives at the college with his wife and young daughter in tow, and it's kind of just about this unnamed protagonist. She's in her late 50s, I think, and it's more about aging and being a woman, and sexual politics and her kind of internal life, and I've given it 3 stars. I think there are going to be people who will absolutely love this book, and I think those people will be the ones that read a lot of what I call heavy literary fiction, kind of Ali Smith type literary fiction, which is not my bag. I enjoyed parts of it I skim read because I got quite bored. I really didn't like our narrator.
and I always struggle with unlikable narrators, which she definitely is, and I'm sure it's deliberate. Her views and opinions on power dynamics are quite extreme and not ones that I agree with, and I just found it quite difficult to care what happened to her. So yeah, it was an odd one. It was dark, it's short, it's only just over 200 pages. I'm sure that the title, Vladimir, is a direct link to Lolita, and it had that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, it was uncomfortable and it was weird, but I don't think I enjoyed it. But there will definitely be people out there that will absolutely love this and connect with it. For me, it was a 3-star, but thank you very much, Book Break, for sending it my way, because I've been intrigued by that one. And then these arrived because you lot are ridiculous. Gary was like, there's more parcels for you downstairs. Sorry. So yes, we're going to open these. So thank you again. I think I've already said it in this video. Nobody does send me anything, but I very much appreciate it. Although I'm really intrigued because this is really long and really thin, as is the other one, and I've got no idea what's on my wish list that's shaped like this. And it's definitely come from my wish list because it says What Victoria Read on it. So let's see if we can find a gift note first. Here we go. Oh, from Marianne. Sorry your plans got derailed. I hope these cheer you up at least a little. Marianne, I think the chocolate might be coming separately. Oh, so maybe that's the second parcel. Okay, so what is this? Oh, that's really funny. I was just talking about this yesterday. This is the Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill. This is perfect. Oh my goodness. I read the first one, which is the Tea Dragon Society. Yes. Early this year or the end of last year, and it's just the cutest thing. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. I was watching Jean's recent book haul, and she hauled this, and I commented saying that I hoped it was just as good. Thank you so much, Marianne. I might just read this. I think there's a little bit of sunshine left in the day. I might go and get in the hammock in a minute and read this because it's beautiful. The Tea Dragon Society is about these dragons that grow tea out of their head, and that's pretty much it. And it's just really cute and colourful. Like, let's see if I can find a bit that won't be spoilery so you can see the style. This is the beginning. It's beautiful. So, wow, thank you very much, Marianne. That's made my day, and I've forgotten that was on my wish list. And then I think this feels like chocolate, because I think this is chocolate, but which did she choose? Gift note. No. That's the receipt. Ooh, good choice. She sent me, I am recyclable, some Tony's Chocolonely, which is good because, confession, I've already eaten the other Tony's Chocolonely that I sent yesterday. What flavour is this? Ooh, nougat milk almonds. This is kind of like, sorry. This is kind of like Toblerone, but in a different shape. This is very exciting, and Marianne, you absolutely did not need to do this. But thank you so very, very, very much. It's the 18th of April and I am still in my house, starting to climb the walls a little bit now, I can't lie. In terms of symptoms and stuff, I still got a cough, as you can probably hear in my throat. I'm still testing positive, very faint line, but it's still there. And yeah, just a bit meh, to be honest. Trying to make the best of it. Obviously, I've watched like all of my Booktube feed. I've watched half of Netflix. I've cleaned my bookshelves upstairs. I've done all of that stuff and I've read loads. So today, as you can see, I'm in my favourite brunch pyjamas, because what I would really like to be doing today is going out for brunch in the sunshine with my husband, maybe on our motorbike. Instead, I'm inside, we both are, not going anywhere, waiting for our in-laws to bring supplies, because bless them, they are the absolute best and they've been looking after us. So yes, Charlie's now back with his mum, so we managed to successfully get him through the week without him testing positive, so that's good. So hopefully he can now go off and have a much more fun second half of his holidays, and it means that I'm taking up residence just there. So, books. I'm going to cough again. Delightful. So I've had 2 DNFs and I've finished 3 books. And I'm currently reading one that will be no surprise to anybody. The first DNF was a surprise to me, but I got nearly 100 pages in and I was bored and didn't feel like picking it up, which to me is always a sign of like, I've given it a good try. It's clearly just not for me. That book is The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I read, what was the one that I read? The Deathless Girls by that author last year, and I had the same thing where I was just bored. So I decided not to push myself through, and it's a beautiful book. Look at those sprayed edges, stenciled edges, very pretty. Although I can't really see the point of stenciled edges or sprayed edges, because when it's on the shelf, you see that. But it's very pretty to look at. Anyway, got 100 pages in, got bored, put it down, decided to DNF it, and I just think this author is not for me. There's something about their writing I'm just not connecting with. So that one is going out. And then a second one was The Painter's Friend by Howard Cunnell. This one I bought myself in Oxford with Charlotte last summer. This one was sent to me at Book Break also last summer, and I just read the first 50 pages and again I was just not clicking. I was just not feeling it, and I tried it again the next day because, you know, I'm in a bit of a weird headspace right now and it's still not the one for me. So I've also DNF'd that, and then I've had a far more successful run. I've had a 5-star, a 4-star and a 5-star, which is pretty good. My first one that I finished because apparently I'm binge reading this series this month, was the 6 Tudor Queens, Jane Seymour the Haunted Queen by Alison Weir. This is obviously the 3rd in the series. I've read the first 2 already this month, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm reading right now. This is obviously the story of Jane Seymour, and to be honest, to me, she's always been the most boring of Henry's wives. She's always seemed very bland and just a bit vanilla compared to the others. So I didn't have particularly high expectations for this one, but I raced through it. I was fascinated, absolutely gripped. I feel like Alison Weir's really brought Jane to life, and like compared to his other wives, she's usually just the one that gave him a son and then died, whereas like she feels like a real person. And I just really enjoyed it. It's 500 pages and I flew through it because I couldn't put it down, basically also because I can't do anything else right now. But yeah, gave this 5 stars, really enjoyed it. Then I read Into the Dark by Fiona Cummins, which you watched me haul earlier in the vlog. This came out on the 14th of April. This was sent to me by Book Break in exchange for an honest review, and it's a thriller, and it says wife, husband, friend, detective, someone knows the truth, all of them are lying. And basically the premise is that a family vanish from their home one day. The best friend goes round to meet the mum for a run, and she finds phone's on charge, you know, the kids' school bags are by the door, food half eaten, coffee still hot, like warm in the mugs, but there's no sign of the family. And it goes from there, and I cannot say absolutely anything else because it would be a massive spoiler. I gave this 4 stars, and sorry. I think that's mostly because the pace was really good. There were some good twists and turns. I did see the twists and turns coming. It feels like the beginning of a series. There are 2 police officers in this that we are following, and they do kind of fall into that cliche of like police officers with a jaded past. But I liked both of them, which when you've read this book will make you think I'm a bit weird because of what's going on with them. But I feel like it's the beginning of a series, and I feel like I would read more in the series, and I think that's why I gave it 4 stars. It was like a solid 3 all the way through, and then I got to the end and I was like, I would keep reading these characters, not the family, but like the police officers. So yeah, gave that 4 stars. would recommend. It's kind of an easy, like, it's what I would refer to as a beach read because I don't read like contemporary romance or other things that people read on the beach. This is the kind of thing I would read on a beach in like a couple of hours. And I thought it was good. So that was a 4-star. And then I treated myself to reading the Tea Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill. Obviously you've already seen me open this from Marianne earlier in the vlog. Was it like 3 days ago, something like that? This was just delightful. I had such a lovely like hour or so reading this, and it's just about magic and family and identity. You've got a character in there who is deaf, and so other characters use sign language, and you've got this little like disclaimer at the beginning that explains that and like tells you how it will be shown, which I thought was really cool. And the art style is just stunning. I basically want to print out this whole book and the first one and just wallpaper all the walls of my house with it because it's just so beautiful. I'm trying to find a spread that's not like gonna give the story away, but it's just glorious. Like, look at this. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Marianne. This was 5 stars and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then do you want to take a second to guess what I'm reading right now? I mean, I started it last night, but I'm 8 pages in, so, you know, because I thought, well, I should probably take a break, read something else. I've got other things I should be reading this month. I've still got Magma and Hamnet to read from my original TBR. I was going to pick up Hamnet last week, but then given that it's a book about the plague and I have the literal plague at the moment, it felt a little bit close to the bone, so I'm going to leave that probably till next week. And the only one I'm definitely not going to read from that TBR is Luck and Booth, because I've had it in my head since I bought it, but because it's set in Edinburgh, I was going to read it on my trip to see Leanne and Harry, so that one is being held until I get my backside to Edinburgh. Yeah, so right now I'm also reading this, Anna of Cleve, Queen of Secrets. Nobody's surprised. It's so beautiful. I think this is my favourite cover. And yeah, I'm going to curl up, read some more, cough a lot, complain to my husband, wait for supplies from the parents-in-law. It's 20th of April, and as you saw from the B-roll, I have been released back into the wild. Oh, also, look what else has been released back into the wild. That's my grey hairs. Nice. Side note, I think grey hair, I really love the colour of grey hair, but why does the texture have to change? Because, like, this little guy is now going to probably stand, like, straight up all day because it's a different texture to the rest of my hair. Anyway, wafflings of a mid-30s something. Yes, so 2 days of negative tests meant I was allowed outside yesterday. Thank goodness. I celebrated my freedom by spending 6 hours in my classroom working because I know how to live. There is so much to do, and it's all stuff I was supposed to do last week before going to Edinburgh, and obviously everything's got switched around and flipped upside down. So yeah, I spent excuse me, still got the cough. Yeah, so I spent 6 hours in my classroom yesterday, marking and planning and everything else. I'm going back today because I've probably got at least today, if not tomorrow, to spend working. But it felt good to be using my brain, and the school site was really quiet. There's like a I was gonna say summer school, but it's Easter, like a
school holiday club thing that gets run by like outside company in the school. So there were actually loads of people on site, but they were all down the other end near the sports hall. So it was very nice and quiet in my English room. I've done the other I hope this goes away before next week, because I can't teach if I have to keep stopping to cough every 10 seconds. So yes, it's very quiet in my room, which was great. I got loads done, and then as you saw, I treated myself to a little wander around Wells. Purely for the joy of being outside. It was so nice. It was a bit rainy. I didn't even care. It was just like, oh, this is so nice. So yeah, just had a little potter around Wells. Went into Waterstones. Didn't buy anything, mostly because I knew I was coming home to 2 books that I'd ordered. And just had a lovely time. So yes, I came home to 2 books I ordered, and then one that was a gift, which I really apologise to the person who sent it, because I didn't check the label before I ripped open the box. I saw 2 boxes and I was like, great, I ordered 2 books. That'll be the first one, and it was a gift. So I'm really sorry I didn't open that on camera. But let's look at the books that I bought myself first. So no one is surprised that I bought the last 2 books in the 6 Tudor Queens series. So we've got Catherine Howard, The Tainted Queen, and Catherine Parr, The Sixth Wife. And I'm obsessed with these covers. I think they're beautiful. And yeah, these are books 5 and 6 in the series. Not really much else to say at this point. I'm about halfway through Anna of Cleves and really enjoying that. And then I have the next 2, because you know I don't have enough books on my shelf. And then, oh my goodness. If I could stop coughing just for 5 seconds, that would be lovely. And then the lovely Sue sent me The Maid by Nita Prose, which is a book I've been looking at, like, side-eyeing for ages. I know that Hilary at Melted Books really enjoyed it, I think this month or last month. And I'm just really intrigued. It's a murder mystery, and I think all I really know about it is that a maid at a big hotel finds a dead body one day, and it goes from there. And it says, you see her, you don't see her, but she sees you. And I think it's, you know, the whole like commentary on how people who are in the service industry become basically invisible to those that they are serving. And she kind of, that's the gift note, she turns it to her advantage. But can we just look at these pages? Like, what? So yeah, I'm really excited. I've got kind of Agatha Christie-ish vibes from it. And let's put the cover back on it because it's so pretty. And yes, massive thanks to Sue. This will go on my shelf, and I'm really hoping that I'll pick this up soon. It's 21st of April and I feel like trash. You can probably hear it in my voice. I think I overdid it over the last 2 days, and everyone was like, don't overdo it, rest, blah blah, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was just like so excited to be testing negative and be able to get back out in the world and spend some time in my classroom, and I've definitely overdone it. So I was supposed to be going to see my dad and my grandma today, but I've woken up just feeling like trash. I keep coughing, and I'm not sure if like my hay fever's joining the party, or if I've got a cold, because I'm now like really like snotty. You really don't need to know this. But yeah, I feel like trash today, so I've cancelled my plans with them, which is such a shame. And I'm just basically curling up today. But whilst I was out and about yesterday, I bought a book, because apparently that's what I'm doing now. Just like, my TBR is completely out of control. But we're rolling with it. And I also finished a book this morning. So the book that I bought, I've already texted Chloe, because this is one of her like favourite books of all time, I think. I think I'm right in saying that. She loves it anyway, and she's very excited that I picked it up. But I saw Rhiannon from the Welsh Reader say a while ago that this was £5 in Tesco's. And I never buy books from supermarkets. Don't know why not. I'm not in them very often. But I popped to Tesco's yesterday to get some snacks and lunch and stuff to get me through a day of marking in my classroom. And I saw it and I just thought, oh,
I've really wanted to read it for ages. I know Chloe really wants me to read it, so I've picked it up. That book is Verity by Colleen Hoover. She's a massive author. I've never had any interest in her books because they're like romance type books, and I just don't feel like they're going to be for me. But this one is supposed to be thrillery, and I've heard really really good reviews for it, so my brain is like not really in the building. This is about a woman who goes to an author's house and moves in because the author themselves, Verity, is unwell or has had an accident or something and isn't able to finish her final book. So this person, Lowen, is that how you say it? Lowen? Moves in with Verity and her family to kind of get a feel for Verity so that she can finish the book for her. And then she discovers a diary, I think, and it's about what she finds. And I've heard that it's got some really shocking twists in it, and I'm intrigued to see if I can figure them out before we get there. So yes, I'll be reading this one. I mean, I've already put a bookmark in it, so I think we might know what happened. It's going to happen towards the end of this month. And then last night and this morning I have read Magma by Thora Hajoffa's daughter. Yeah, sorry, that was terrible. This was sent to my book break ages ago. It's a finished copy. It came out last year. And this is very short. It's very fast-paced, but it's an incredibly tough read. And please check the content warnings for this because there are so many. When I was going through StoryGraph and doing my review, there were so many boxes that I was ticking for content warnings. So please approach this one carefully. We are following a girl or a woman, she's 19, who is in a relationship, a really bad relationship, and it's about coercive control, it's about gaslighting, it's about mental health, it's about sexual assault. She loses herself in this man, and she agrees to do things sexually that she isn't comfortable with, and it's about that kind of feeling like you're sliding into madness because you become so caught up in a toxic relationship. And this is translated from Icelandic, I think. Yes, translated by Meg Mach. And I've given this 4 stars. I couldn't give it 5 partly because of the way it's told. It's kind of told in these little like vignettes, like really short chapters. Like some of them are a couple of pages long, some of them are just a few lines long, you know, like it's like this, and we don't get any, there's no like setting the scene or world building. We're just in her head with these snatches of things that are happening to her, and I think it was that lack of like time and place that meant I couldn't give it the 5 stars. But it's incredibly powerful. Like I said, it's very difficult to read in a lot of ways. Like it didn't take me long to read. It probably took me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to read it, but it's very raw and it's really visceral. So if you are going to pick this up, I would recommend it. It's beautifully written, it's really cleverly done, but it is not easy. And like I said, please check content warnings before you pick this one up, because yeah, that was a tough read. I don't think I breathed for the entire time I was reading it. So that's my reading update. Gary's out at work today. He's working in his office today, so I'm going to curl up. I am currently reading Anna of Cleves. I've got about 100 pages of that left, so I will obviously finish that in a bit. I've also got Hamnet left to read, which is left over the last book on my TBR for April. April is the month we were in, and then I am going to start Verity. Gary and I are going away tomorrow, which is, I'm just so excited for it. His birthday present from me was a fortnight. I wish it was a fortnight. A weekend in the Cotswolds. So I'm not sure if I'll sit down and do a chatty clip again before we go away. So hopefully in a second you'll get some beautiful B-roll of our time away. And I'm really looking forward to just getting out of his house, being with my favourite person and spoiling him, and just hopefully having a lovely relaxing weekend before I go back to the madness that is my job on Monday. And we're back. It's 25th of April. We've had the most perfect couple of days. We stayed in this stunningly beautiful Airbnb just outside Tetbury in the Cotswolds. And it was just one of those blissful weekends. We just slept late and we had nice food and we wandered around some antique shops, and I found a bookshop, as you saw from the B-roll, and we were just together, just hanging out and relaxing. You know, I read for an hour in a sunny garden this morning. It was just glorious, and it's so nice to like not have a schedule and not have an alarm and not need to worry about meals at certain times, and all of that just went away for a couple of days. So yes, it was lovely and very much needed, and I feel much better for it, as does the husband. I have finished 2 books since I last spoke to you. Want to guess what they are? So the first one is Six Tudor Queens, Anna of Cleve, Queen of Secrets, which is book number 4, obviously by Alison Weir. Already you are familiar with this series because I've been obsessed with it this month. This is obviously Anna's story, and it was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. She was the divorced wife, or annulled wife really, and yeah, I've given it 4 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as the others. This is my least favourite of the series so far, and obviously once I've finished all 6, which I think will probably be next month, possibly the month after, but it's probably going to be next month because I have no self-control, I will do a kind of ranking video, and at the moment this is my least favourite. However, I still enjoyed it enough to give it 4 stars. Alison Weir, kind of as she's done with the other ones, because we don't really know that much about Anna's life before she became queen, and then afterwards she lived in relative obscurity. So Alison Weir has woven in a storyline which might be controversial to some people, but I thought was really interesting, and I thought it made a lot of sense of certain aspects of her life. Obviously I don't want to give spoilers. So I thought it was really well written. It was just, her life just wasn't as exciting as the otherwise, and that is what it comes down to. And there's only so much that I care about, like German politics, and there's quite a lot of it in here, particularly before she leaves for England. And then, you know, her life, some of the things that she was like worrying about felt a little bit petty compared to other things that were going on at the time. So yeah, not my favourite one, but still really good, still really, really well written, still thoroughly researched, still really brought this woman to life. And yeah, I'm just really obsessed with these covers. And yeah, I had a really good time reading it, so that was a 4 star. And then here comes one of the cats. Which one is it? Oh, it's Jack. You come in? He's like, no, just checking what you're doing. And then I read Verity by Colleen Hoover, and I was texting Chloe because I didn't love this and I feel really bad. So premise is we are following Lo. I think I read the back to you in a previous clip, but we'll just recap it just in case. We're following Lo, who is a writer. She is brought in to basically ghostwrite the end of a series because Verity, who is the original author, has had an accident, and there are still 3 books left in the series. So the publishing house brings her on to co-write or ghostwrite the last 3 books in the series, and so she moves into Verity's house to get an idea of, like, go through all of her writing notes and get an idea of what her plans were for the end of the series. And while she's in her office, she finds this autobiography manuscript and starts reading, and it's about what she finds. It's about her relationship with Verity's husband, and it all kind of goes from there. This has been huge. And it says on the back, the TikTok sensation with over 200,000 5-star reviews. So I am in the minority. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was well paced. It was really fast paced, really well written. There are sex scenes in it which I thought were well done. That's her normal genre, is romance, and you can really see that. But I thought the twist was super obvious, and it's a problem I have with a lot of thrillers, not just this one, in that it was horrible people doing horrible things. And I say this all the time, like, I then struggle to care, which is why thrillers rarely get more than a 3, possibly 4 star from me, because then I just don't care about what happens to any of them, and that was the problem I had with this. So yeah, I don't think I would pick up another Colleen Hoover, and also Brianna from 4 Paws in a Book. Yeah, that's her channel name now. My brain just did that thing where it blinked slightly. Mentioned in a video recently that apparently the author has a problem with content warnings on books and has been talking about why they are unnecessary, which we don't agree with. So yeah, kind of mixed feelings. I didn't love this. I'm sorry, Chloe, I know it's like one of your favourite books, but it was a bit obvious to me what the twist was. and turns out my views don't really align with the author's either, so don't think she's for me, but I know lots and lots of other people really enjoy her. And those were almost all of the books that I read in April. It's now 30th of April, and yes, I have had a rather drastic haircut. I just got the urge this week. My friend Sam is my hairdresser. She was free. I was like, can you come over and just chop basically what feels like all of my hair off? It's really short. It just about tucks behind my ear, and it's actually even shorter at the back. She had to use the clippers at the back, which is a slightly scary moment, but I am really loving it. At first, like the next day, the following day after I did it, so on the like Wednesday, I got up and I was like, what have I done? It's so short, because honestly, like the back of my neck is really cold. But I'm really loving it now, and it was definitely the right thing to do, because I think I've complained before about the fact that my classroom is about 500 degrees during the summer term, and even this week it was starting to get like uncomfortably warm. So yeah, it was definitely the right thing to be doing, and it just looks so much better now. It looks like so much healthier and stuff. So yes, haircut, I do love it. Short hair, don't care, and all that. So I've got one more book that I finished, one more book I bought, and then we're going to do stats. So the final book of the month was my reread for the month, and that was Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. I had originally planned, I think I've said this already in this video, so I'm sorry for repeating myself. I had originally planned for this to be my Easter holiday read, but having caught the plague, didn't feel like reading a plague book at that particular moment in time, so I left it, and it was my last read of the month. This is based on the historical fact that William Shakespeare had an 11-year-old son called Hamlet, who died during a plague year. Whether or not he died of plague, we don't know, but he died during a plague year. And the name Hamlet and Hamlet, which is one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies and arguably his best written play, is the same. The two names are interchangeable, so it's thought that his son Hamlet even inspired the grief that is at the heart of Hamlet. And this is a story of a family who are grieving. We follow mostly the mother, but we just look at the different ways that the family grieve and deal with the death of this young boy, and it's completely heartbreaking and it's incredible. And it was 5 stars when I read it the first time, and it is still 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Love it so much. I'm actually scared to pick anything else up by Maggie O'Farrell in case it doesn't match up. So that's the thing. So yeah, really successful reread, 5 stars, just chef's kiss, all of that. Highly recommend this. Content warnings obviously for grief. It is not an easy read, but I loved it. And then I had a pre-order come through that I'd completely forgotten about. I love when I do this because it kind of feels like a present from myself, even though it's a present I had to pay for. But this dropped through my letterbox this week. I mean, how stunning is this? I literally just want to take the cover off the book and put it on the wall. This is a lecture by Jennifer Saint, who also wrote Ariadne, which I read this year at some point. I read it, I was partway through it, and I was like, what else has this author written, because I need to read it immediately. This is her next book. It was available for pre-order, so pre-ordered it and then forgot all about it, like I said, until this week at an Amazon parcel, and I was like, what is this? And this came out of the packaging, and I'm obsessed. I don't even know what it's about. I don't know anything about Electra or who she was. I'm assuming it's a Greek retelling. I mean, like, these end pages, I mean, come on, it's just ridiculous, really. So yeah, it's, you know, Greek myth retelling, gorgeous cover. I'm really excited to read it. I adored Ariadne. So we will see what this one is like, and the two of them together are just, oh, it's so beautiful. So yes, that's a book that came in. Let's do stats because this video is already way too long. So in April, I read 12 books, which I'm so surprised by. I'm actually really impressed with myself for the month. Given everything that was going on, to get 12 books read, I was really pleased. And then number of pages, this is the most number of pages I've read all year, was 4,552 pages, which is 152 a day. That's really good going for me anyway. And I think it's because I obviously read 4 of the Tudor Queen series and they're all at least 500 pages each. So, you know, that's pushing up. Average star rating is also my best month in terms of star rating. My average star rating was 4.58. So really high ratings. Again, I think it's mostly because I was reading that series that I'm really enjoying, which I can't promise to shut up about because I definitely won't. So Catching the Plague aside, it was a really good month for reading. I read a lot of books. I also DNF'd 3 books. So that's 15 books off my TBR from the start of the month, which is brilliant. And I really enjoyed the majority of what I was reading. So those are the stats. My favourite read of the month, well, it's not going to be a surprise it's from this series. What does surprise me is it's this book, but this book is currently my favourite of the series, and that's Jane Seymour, The Haunted Queen. As I said in the wrap-up clip for it, I've just always found her a bit dull, and this book just made her sound so interesting, and I was completely on her side and completely on board and all of that stuff. So this is my favourite book of April. And then my most disappointing book, I'm really sorry, but it is Verity. Like, the more I've thought about it this week, it's just not, it's not for me. So yeah, that was my most disappointing read of the month. And then my TBR count. So at the end of March, my TBR was at 62 books. Fine. I'm aiming, in case this is your first video by me, I'm aiming to get my TBR down to 50 because that is what I feel like is a manageable level for me. What is this bit of hair doing? Who knows? So I was on 62 at the end of March, and at the end of April I'm on 64 books. So we are moving in the wrong direction. But actually, I've been saying that I want to get it to 50, and that would be kind of nice. But I think as long as it's under 100, I'm happy with that because it gives me like plenty of choice, but it's not too overwhelming. So yes. So what a month. Worked hard. Tried to have an adventure. Didn't manage to do that because I got COVID instead. Read some great books, had a fantastic weekend in the Cotswolds with the husband, had lots of cat cuddles. I mean, it's not been the best month for lots of things, but also I feel like we're at this point in the year now, like the days are longer, the weather's nicer, like everything just feels a bit easier. So yeah, it's been an alright month. It's been a fab reading month, so you know, it could be worse. Okay, I'm going to stop because I'm officially rambling. So if you got to this point in the video, if you've made it all the way to the end of this ridiculously long video, leave me the ghost emoji because Jane Seymour was the haunted queen. So let's have the little cute ghost emoji. Please subscribe if you would like more of this particular brand of chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.